Hello and welcome to Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is Patrick Nisley.
And my name is David Howe.
And it's just the two of us today, and we're doing a special episode. We're going to just kind of do a short conversational episode.
Yeah.
Check in about real life, some stuff going on.
Yeah.
We did an episode like this when COVID first broke out. And sort of like this when there was a big sort of weather event here.
Yeah, the big Texas freeze.
Yeah. So I think this is another one of those if you've been with us long enough.
Yeah. Well, look, we were like, do we do another Zelda episode? Because like everyone on YouTube is like cashing in on like the
totally.
Tears of the Kingdom is coming out. Everybody wants to do an episode to get clicks because everybody's super horned up for Zelda right now. But we've also like done a bunch of those already, you know, and there's just been like some stuff happening that's probably worth doing a little bit of soul searching on, or like just kind of talking through some stuff.
Yeah.
Figured that could maybe be cool. So if you're like a big fan of Nintendo and you're here for all the Nintendo juicy news and rumors, this might not be the episode for you, but don't turn away that dial yet because we're getting vulnerable.
Yeah, that's right. I think, we'll talk about Zelda next week.
Yeah. Obviously we've got Tears of the Kingdom comes out. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out like tomorrow night. Right.
Yep.
So, which is exciting, right? I'm very excited. So, I think it's this kind of we're calling this kind of life update and the calm before the storm episode is kind of what we talked about right before we started recording.
And the storm is Zelda.
The storm is Zelda. Yeah.
So we might talk about it a little bit because it is on the brain. Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like state of the pod, how we're feeling, just stuff that's going on in our life and stuff like that. We've never done an episode with just me and you.
It's true.
Patrick as well.
We've never done an episode. Well, that's not true. I was going to say we've never done a 2-person episode, but we have done a special 2-person episode or two.
Which one?
I think there's one or two that was just me and Matt or just you and Matt.
Okay.
But they're few and far between.
Yeah. I didn't even, I blocked those out.
And I don't know if we've done one that's just you and me.
Yeah. Well, look at us. We're doing it.
Us.
Yeah. I don't know how we want to start.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we start by just acknowledging what's going on, maybe a little bit. Talk about. I mean, I'm doing okay. Things are going okay for me, and I'm happy to share some stuff going on in my life too.
Please.
But we don't have to focus on me. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm just working on the game, and I've been kind of stressed financially because I need to find a job, but I might have a couple of like part-timey contracty things coming together, fingers crossed, that will help.
That are like still within the industry or what?
No, I mean, I am writing for one game, but it's not like a ton of work or money. I mean, and then I am maybe going to do some contract work for the place I used to work. And then I have a friend who runs a business who could use a little help. Both of those last two things haven't started yet. And so I don't know how much work it's going to be and how much money, but I'm feeling hopeful about that. So,
that's good.
At least in terms of stopgap kind of stuff.
Because I know like that was a big thing that happened during the course of this podcast, right? Is, you had a like steady full-time gig that you quit to pursue game dev, which is amazing and has been an amazing journey to see you on this journey.
Yes, and I wouldn't be here without this podcast and without you.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
no, it's great. I mean, I love that. Like when, like, it's nice when you do something with other people that then has like a meaningful impact in their lives. You know what I mean? That's like kind of how you can, it's like. That's why it like feels good to like set your friends up and then they become in a relationship or you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like that. It's like, I think that's something that's really nice about this world is like seeing the impact that other people have on you for your own lives. And then the impact that you can make on other people's lives, and I think that's been something really special
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to ask, like, would you are you interested in like finding another full-time job? Like, are you at that point again?
I
where
mean,
you're just gonna like work on the game in your free time?
I'm applying to full-time jobs because I need to, not because I mean, I honestly like I really enjoy working on this game, and I think it's okay, and I think it has a chance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that it's gonna. I don't know. It's a lot of work on spec, but I think that's what I want to do, at least for the next while, is make my own games if I can make a living off of it. So, but I can't do that until I at least finish this one.
Totally.
And so if I can get by on a couple of things for the next 6 months to finish it, or however long, it's kind of hard to say, then I'll do that. But if I get a full-time job and work on the side, you know what I mean? We'll have to just see. But yeah. Does that answer your question?
I think so. Yeah. Well, it's my hope, obviously, that, if it is like full-time work, that, there's some kind of stuff within the industry too. Hopefully, like, getting this kind of experience will help get your foot in the door at like another company or like working on other stuff, you know, like, because I think that would also be super meaningful experience. And I know stuff like that pops up in Austin all the time.
Yeah.
So I can also help with some leads on that if you ever want.
Yeah, for sure. I am applying to things. I'm, being kind of applying to things I really want, or maybe really want is a stretch. Sometimes not things I really want, but things that I think would be good or whatever. You know, but as we get closer to the fall, I may be more and more desperate. So
yeah. Well, hit me up. I mean, this is such a funny episode because it's like we're just talking.
Do you want to hang out on Wednesday?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, it's like I know some people in the industry and stuff, and it's like I would have never gotten the job that I have at Powerhouse if I didn't know somebody there.
Totally.
And it's like just helps so much to like have somebody vouch for you, or it's like just be like, hey, my bud's applying.
Right.
I know you work here. Like, could you keep an eye out for his resume or something like that? I'm more than happy to help with that. And I think like, hopefully our listeners as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I really want to
If anybody is hiring is listening to this right now,
right, let me know.
That's what we're saying. Yeah.
But I really do want to finish this game. And like, it only becomes harder with a full-time job, but it's also hard when you're juggling 3 part-time jobs too. So,
Yeah. I feel you. Right. Well, I guess we'll talk about my life.
Yeah.
That's a good strap in, bitches. I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, if you're in the Discord, you're probably aware a little bit of some stuff that's been going on. I've been a little cagey, but definitely this past week, and this is probably part of the reason why we're not doing like a full episode right now.
Right.
But the past week has been very difficult for me personally. I think in a lot of ways there's a lot of really great things going on in my life, and I think maybe it's good to start with that. Like, I feel like really good about like my work, for instance. I think like this job that I have is like really fulfilling creatively for me. And it's nice that I have like a team of people that I love and trust that are I've been able to kind of cultivate an editorial like department at my job that like feels really, really great, and it's all people I know and love, and that's like really, really satisfying. And it's like, I feel like for the first time, this wasn't really the case when we started this podcast, but for the past few years, it's like I've lived so much of my life like as an artist, jumping from contract gig to contract gig,
right?
and having financial, it's always worked out. I've always had like a little bit of at least something in the bank to where if something went wrong, I'm okay. But if anything ever went wrong, I'd be fucked. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I know so many people live like that, like paycheck to paycheck. Like I was listening to somebody talk about that. It's like, a
large percentage of people. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a huge amount of people have less than like, $400 in the bank or whatever. Right. It's like, people are like one bad accident away from being homeless, like a huge amount of this country. Right. And that was me for so long. And I feel very fortunate to where that's no longer an issue. Right. And, also I've been seeing someone recently as well, which has been like really, really amazing. And that's been like a super awesome experience for me. The past like year has been like really kind of lonely. I've dealt with a lot of like depression, like over the past, 2022 is like a pretty tough year for me in a lot of ways. And I think I put so much energy and time into like the podcast and into the Discord and into my comedy show, Good Fight, and work. You know what I mean? So I was like really good at like distracting. Yeah, it's like I was good at like keeping all these things, like keeping me distracted. I think like I've dealt with depression kind of on and off throughout my life. And I think something that I've been really good at doing with age is like learning the importance of just distraction. You know what I mean? Like, and like not feeling guilty for just avoiding
staying busy a little
things.
bit.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like when I was young, when I was like in my 20s, cause I've had a lot of mental illness struggles in my life. And, and I've been in and out of therapy for a lot of my life. And I think that like in my 20s, you like have this, like, I got to fix my shit so I can like have the rest of my life good. You know what I mean? And let's figure it out now and nip it in the bud so I don't have to deal with it. But mental health doesn't really work that way, And I think that like when you build up your issues to be this, to have the importance of I need to fix this or I'm fucked, like it, especially when you're a procrastinator like me, it makes it almost too unwieldy to deal with, and then you never get anything done and you never really have any growth, right? And so for a long time I felt like just pushing my problems aside was like cowardice, you know what I mean? Or like taking the easy way out, or like, oh, this is going to fuck me up later because I'm not dealing with it now. But I think with age I've kind of realized that like it's actually like really strong to do that because it minimizes your issues, you know what I mean? And it's like, and over time, if you give less credence to them, you learn that you don't have to defeat them, but rather what you need to do is like recognize them so you can, and to not let them control your life. Yeah. It's like if you can, it's like admitting you have a problem with alcoholism or something, right? It's like recognizing that it's there, and then just being like, not today, Satan. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of strength in that. And I think that that's actually helped me quite a bit in my mental health journey. And so, anyway, that's really beside the point. What I'm saying is I'm dating now and I'm really happy.
TLDR.
Yeah, no, but it's really not, it's nice to have that love in your life, and like, and it's also makes me really happy, and that, I mean, that helps, not that you can't have happiness alone, but it's like, that fucking helps, and that's been amazing. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm really glad that they like to play Picross.
Deal breaker. It's kind of a deal breaker.
No, not at all. I mean, no, it's just after like, how many relationships have I been in where they don't give a fuck about Picross? Like all of a sudden, like to like date somebody who like really loves to play Picross is, man, that's nice. But anyway, so anyway, that's the stuff I'm grateful for. I think that I haven't talked about this like publicly, but I've kind of figured it might be a good idea to. I've been having some health issues lately and some health scares, and it's a pretty scary time, to be honest. And I think I'm keeping it together, but I think maybe talking about it will probably help a little bit. And I don't want to scare anybody. I think that it, whatever happens, I'm definitely of the mindset of like, I'm ready to deal with this and get it out of the way and fuck this shit up and move on with my life. But I guess basically on last Monday, right before we recorded last week's podcast, I went to a dermatologist because I'd found a nasty little, what I thought was like a pimple on my head. It ended up being like a mole, and then eventually has been discovered to be a tumor. And so basically, yeah, I went in on Monday and I had the scan. I had this thing biopsied. It was like on the back of my head, on my scalp. And yeah, and unfortunately on Thursday I got the news that it's a malignant melanoma. So your boy got the cancer. But I mean, as far as I understand, melanoma is one of the best ones to have, right?
Right.
You know, and I think it's been an especially tough weekend for me because it was like I got the news like kind of late in the day on Thursday. It was kind of like, you know, it's like a doorknob conversation for the fucking dermatologist for them to like call me and get it out of the way. And then it was like, and they were like, okay, so we're going to get you in touch with an oncologist, right? And, or we're referring you to, what they said was we've referred you to an oncologist and you'll be getting a call tomorrow morning to set up an appointment for further biopsies. Basically, on my head, you know, they removed the actual tumor, but some of the tissue around still has melanoma within it. I don't know all the scientific terms here.
Okay.
But so they're going to biopsy that. They want to check your lymph nodes and make sure that this hasn't spread and that it's just on the tissue. So then, you know, Friday came. No, it's scary, right? I mean, that the prospect of that is scary.
Right. To hear one thing of like, we removed it and you're good is kind of what you're hoping to hear, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was already hard that week. It was like Monday getting it and then just waiting for the results for that week was hellish. You know what I mean? But then I kept saying, it's fine. They'll be like, it's good. And then I'll be fine. You know what I mean? And then you get the call and it's not fine. And you're like, okay, now what's the next step? And then another moment of waiting happened, you know, because then Friday comes along and I'm expecting this call. I don't get a call. So I call them, the oncologist office, which is part of UT Health Austin. And I called like 20 minutes too late because they closed at noon for UT commencement. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Now I got to wait like even longer to like set up an appointment. And then, you know, and then also like Austin Regional Clinic. Yeah, I'm putting you on blast, Austin Regional Clinic. Just like ghosted me. Like I tried to like call them back and they just never answered me. And like they didn't upload my like test results to my online portal and shit like that. I left them some like pretty nasty phone messages, to be honest, because it was like Friday and it was the weekend and I just like had to wait throughout the whole weekend, you know what I mean? And so like that was really obnoxious, and so that led to a lot of anxiety. I guess just an update on that, like I've got an appointment now set for Monday next week. So after, I guess before we record next week's episode, I'll have gone to the doctor. So maybe I can give an update to you guys next week on where that's at. But yeah, so there'll be, I'm sure there's going to be a degree of recovery from this. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. You know, just the little bit of tissue that they like biopsied off my scalp, like made my head pretty sensitive. So I imagine taking even more skin tissue off my head is going to be even worse. And then if they biopsy a lymph node, I think that includes putting a needle in there and then taking some tissue and pulling it out. So it's like, you know, so I imagine there's going to be some recovery there as well. So I don't know exactly what all that's going to look like. So that's kind of also part of the reason I'm giving a little bit of a heads up here.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm confident about it, you know, and I think I'm trying to stay positive on that front.
Right.
But it's been trying,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had any kind of like health scares like this, Patrick.
I mean, not exactly, but I understand what you're saying. Like not knowing is the hardest part almost. I mean, hearing bad news is also hard and dealing with that. Right. But being in the space where you're like, everything could be just fine. Or I could be, you know what I mean? Like, or your brain can spiral to the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And balancing.
So and again, that's where like distraction comes in, busy. Right? And it's like really nice that I'm a gamer, you know, even if I've just been playing Picross.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, well, no, I mean, like for instance, like on, you know, we played the Splatfest. I played some of the Splatfest this past week. And then like, you know, I don't think everybody like knew, but it's like I was going through some shit on that and I was like taking a break, you know, and it was like, but just like getting in voice chat and like doing the Splatfest, which was really fun, by the way. Can we just take a quick break? The Splatfest was probably the best Splatfest they've had so far in Splatoon 3.
In my opinion as well. Yeah. I want to talk about the Splatfest, but I just want to acknowledge more broadly the point you made, which is that one of the good things I think about gaming, and then there's other, I mean, myriad activities that can do this, exercise, sewing, whatever, but gaming can get you into a flow state, right? Pretty quickly if you're into it. And that flow state is a great distraction where you just feel in the moment and you're not thinking about your whatever problems.
Right. Or just fixating on stuff, like I've been going down like YouTube rabbit holes of people talking about like the WGA writer's strike that's been happening, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to fixate on this while I play Picross and just forget about my troubles for a second. You know what I mean? Because like, what am I tangibly going to achieve by just worrying? You know what I mean? So that's like a balance that I've been trying to help strike.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No, but back to the Splatfest real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about the Splatfest.
Like you said, this one was the most fun yet. And I think a good chunk of that reason was that the tricolor battles were fun. And I've actually had a lot of fun with the tricolor battles throughout. I think this was the 6th or 7th Splatfest. And they've been fine, but having a stage that's built for them, that stage was awesome.
Clutch, dude. It was awesome.
It
great.
made losing fun, and it made winning fun, and it made winning as an attacker especially fun, And
I like that it was a little tight too. It wasn't like a huge sprawling thing. It was like really easy to pretty much see everything.
Chaos, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was awesome. And you go to the top of
King
the
of the hill. Yeah,
it was awesome. Fun. My favorite thing to do was defend. It made sorry, Jay, I'm going to call you out.
It made defending fun too.
Yeah, defending was my favorite thing to do. Like whenever I was on the defending side, because I'm a big curling bomb user, so I would just kind of camp near the top and just like stay underneath, and then charge up my curling bombs 100% and just constantly fire them off at the very tip. You know what I mean? Like wherever the signal shows up, and it worked great. It worked great until I started playing with Jay, and then it started falling apart a little bit. Sorry, Jay, I'm calling you out, but that was a fucking blast. I really enjoyed that, and it just overall, like, it just felt the balance was a lot better this go around.
Right? Like that stage felt more balanced, even if it's just a trick of the mind. You know what I mean? Which it might partly be, because I still think that the gameplay is asymmetric and like favors defending, but I think it's clearer in that one that it favors defending, and it felt good when you won on either side. And you know what I mean? I don't know, even times when I lost, I was like, well, that was fair. You know what I mean? Like, or just like, it just felt good. And the 2 times I won attacking felt just amazing. Like, like we just cleaned up, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah, and it was a lot of like last second.
Oh, totally. Too. It's I also like that in tricolor battles they show you the percentage while it's happening, which you don't get in a regular battle.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
it kind of the bar kind of moves around.
Cool, and I can see why maybe they only do it in this mode, but like it definitely is nice to be like, oh shit, now wisdom is winning. Go fuck up their side.
Let me focus on that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our Splatoon segue. This is like we said, this is just going to be a conversation. There's not a lot of structure to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's some other stuff too. I think So obviously all this health stuff has been on my mind. It's been hard to focus on work. It's been hard to focus on other things. I've been trying to take it as easy as possible. And then yesterday I got some really devastating news that's been really, really hard for me. One of my previous partners just sadly, tragically passed away on a sometime this weekend, I believe on Saturday. I found out about it on Sunday, and that's been like that's been really hard, and that's been so hard that it makes like my cancer like feel like nothing. You know what I mean? It's like I just haven't even like this morning. I did a lot of like instant grieving yesterday when I found out, and thankfully, I had,
you weren't alone.
I had my current, I wasn't alone. I had my, current partner, whatever we want to call that. I'm not very good.
Don't have a good label yet. Okay.
Yeah, we're working. My boo was here, and that made it really, really helpful. And they're really very patient and very kind and giving and caring, and that made it easy, not easy, but easier. And I think, and some of I don't necessarily want to like say
whatever.
names or anything like that, but it's like, that if you're a longtime listener of the show, you're aware of this person who passed away, and and they've been on the show before, and we were together for a long time, and and we're obviously, we haven't been together for a couple years now, but things ended really well, as far as how relationships can end. It felt like there was a lot of like closure there, and there was still a lot of love there, and so like, obviously this is never easy, but like that little bit made it a little bit easier for me selfishly, and so and I think the last time we really talked was before the Mario movie came out, and we didn't even really talk. It was just like, she responded to something of me wearing a Mario shirt. It's like, are you going to see the Mario movie today? I am too. And that was that. And I just wish I'd said more to her then, but it's like, but that kind of stuff, like we kept in touch, and I know she was going through a hard time, and and it's my sorry.
Oh, you don't need to apologize.
No, it's okay. Yeah. I might just say sorry. It's the
I will not give you a
American
hard time for it either.
But there was a lot of love there, and I really miss her a lot. And it's been really hard over this past couple days, right? Because it's still very fresh, and I think there's been a huge, I made a, what do you do in a post-COVID social media world when somebody passes away? It's like it's like there's no like real playbook on what you do, and I was just really feeling, and so this morning I made a post on like Instagram, and there's just been this like huge outpouring of love from all my friends and people who knew her, and I want to say thanks if you're listening right now and you send a message. It really means a lot, but it was like, I almost like regret making a post, because it's like, it made it to where like every 3 minutes you get a new message that then opens up the wound again. And it's like, man, I've really cried more in the past like 48 hours than I think I ever have, and it's like I saw myself this morning, like I was like, I was like alone this morning, and I was going through these like crying fits, and I just like went and looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, fuck. it's like I was like a monster, and I was like, where are my eyes? Yeah. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to say thanks to everyone who reached out about that, and and I really miss her, and I think I think it's really important to I just kind of want to stress, because I haven't really said this because you don't want to be preachy or anything, but I think it's really, really important to tell the people that you love that you do, and I think it's also good to reach out when when someone's going through a hard time,
Definitely.
and
you can never check in on an old friend too much, or never
too much. Yeah.
Never say,
if anything, they'll be like, bro, chill, and then you're like, okay, cool.
Right. Like, maybe you can, but you can never reach out for the first time in a long time, like it's never too late, or it's never too soon, or it's never, No,
and that's what I saw today. It's like people I haven't talked to in fucking years, just like reaching out and being like, I'm thinking about you, or like, I hope you're able to keep it together, and I'm gonna be able to keep it together. If you're wondering right now, I think it's like, I think it's really good to talk about this stuff, and it's good to have a good fucking cry and grieve. You have to grieve, but I think it's like, but I think it's good to check in on people too, and it's not something that I'm beating myself up over.
No, like,
I don't
yeah,
think
that's fair
anyone
too.
is, I mean, like, I think, some people just have troubles, and there's, and you do what you can. And, but I just wanted to put that out there. I think how important that is. And, cause you always wish that you had more time,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that we were where we were. And I felt good about that. And I think that is also really important, and I think like having unresolved shit is the worst. And I think that's something I've learned with age as well.
Yeah.
And,
You don't have to be friends with everybody or be on great terms, but you can maybe do your part to be at peace with it or leave it as best as you can, or reach out to somebody. Or like I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like
situation's different, right? But
well, no, and it's love. It's like love shows itself in like so many different ways, and in so many different facets, and especially when it's a partner or someone that you had a romantic relationship with. It's like it can be hard after a breakup to like keep to like keep that going. But it, my philosophy on that has always been like, look, there's like a reason that I fell in love with you. It's like because you're a good person, and it doesn't mean that just because we break up that goes away. And I think it was like something
right?
that exactly, yeah. It's like and of course not everything is like that. I definitely have past relationships that I'm not
right
reaching out to,
with,
but it's like if you can help it, I think that's something that's really good to be able to do, and I think it's a very grown up, mature thing to be able to do, and I'm glad that worked out like that. And so anyway, I just wanted to air that out.
Yeah.
I've got, if you're watching the video version, I've got some of her art in the background here, and I'm really glad to have that, and have little bits of my life that are around that all the time where I can remember and keep that memory around and keep her close, and so anyway, so Nintendo. No, I'm just kidding.
I think that maybe we can talk for a little bit longer, but we can begin to kind of end this. I think that we wanted to do an episode, and it was hard to talk about anything that wasn't Zelda related for a theme, but it's also hard to not just talk about this.
Yeah.
These things that have been happening, because it's raw.
Totally, and it's our show, and we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm not.
You're listening, aren't you? Listening, you're the cuck listener.
I think
I'm just kidding.
One of the things that we've done well, like not to like turn this into patting ourselves on the back, is being a little bit real. And I know that multiple people have said that parts of the show they like are the check-in at the top, or like the fact that we did an episode acknowledging our feelings around COVID and stuff like that when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't think this is like, oh, we're the best. It's just more like, hey, we're real people. And I think in doing this, we got to be real people doing it.
No, I mean, some of the, now what would make it really bad is if it's like a screenshot of one of us and the title of this is like, we have to talk. You know what I mean? Like the clickbait, like I fucked up. Like titles like, let's not do that.
Gosh, yeah.
But no, I agree. And I think it's, I appreciate it when, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of content, and it's like, I appreciate it when people are humanized.
Right. Because I think one of the things to remember is when you're out there interacting with people in the world, most people are dealing with some difficult stuff, even if it's not like my stuff's not like yours, David, right? Like I've had a pretty good week, but I'm a little stressed about money in the future.
Right. Rub it in. Why don't
No,
you,
but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and as you go out there, you never know if the person that you're, impatient with in line is dealing with this or that. And back to something you said about love and kindness, like those are the things we should lead with. Not to be too preachy either. Now I feel like I'm on some giant soapbox. Like,
look how fucking pious.
Yeah, right.
Are,
like,
gang.
Be like us. Good.
Oh, Lord have mercy. No, it's no. I mean, you're totally right. I mean, we try to say that at the end of the show. Like be kind to yourself and others. It's like I think that's like the most important thing in this world. And also I think I feel more comfortable talking about this stuff because we have had listeners reach out to us about really difficult topics like death of a loved one or the memories that we keep of people that we have nearby. And I think like seeing messages like that made me so much more confident to open up about this, and the wound is open, dog, it's like fresh, and so it's like just talking it through like feels really good, and like crying feels really good. And yeah, anyway, yeah. So I appreciate anyone who's made it this far and is listening. I think maybe we could talk just a bit about the state of the pod before we wrap up. Like, I don't know if we have like that much to say.
I think that, also like this is a call to action. I mean, if you have any thoughts, if you're a long time listener, we've Matthew left as a host. He's still involved helping out in the show, by the way. But he's not on every week. And so it's just David and I. This is the first time we've done a 2-person show. Obviously this was very different, but if you liked the idea of us doing
this is not going to be a
right. But if you like the idea of just the
thing,
two of us, let us know. I mean, we could do that every once in a while or something. But I think, we are definitely like exploring and thinking about ways to maybe bring in rotating third chairs or temporary third chairs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's still ongoing. I think by this point we had originally kind of, just to keep up the trend of transparency that we've got going on right now. We were like, when Matt decided he was going to step down as a host, it was like, okay, so what are we going to do? Are we going to just replace Matt? Are we going to do a rotating thing, or is it just going to be me and you? And in all honesty, we've kind of put it off a little bit. It's like Patrick learned how to do the video stuff, and we were like, okay, so we don't need a third person for the video stuff.
Deal with this for a little while. Yeah, we've been procrastinating.
I think that's kind of this entire run of podcasts has been us constantly procrastinating.
I mean,
doing the same thing.
Doing a weekly show
it's a lot of work.
Just like to just make sure that the next week's show happens. So it's sometimes hard to make sure that you're planning for things further down.
Yeah, for sure. But that said, it's like you probably will see some experimentation continuing to happen on the show, right? I think like, we've talked about having some rotating guests or having maybe like a little crew of third hosts that we can kind of like pull from a pool on. And then that would make it easier too if, one of us needs to be gone or whatever, Now I like doing the show every week. I'd love to do the show every week. And I think, probably coming up too, we're going to have some outages where we might have some specials coming up, and you guys are used to those. We've been doing those now for a few years. But yeah, just, definitely the show isn't going anywhere. I hope you guys aren't like, oh God, they're dropping an announcement. Like, it's not like that. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for you.
No,
I think I can speak for you. I think you love doing the show too.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about it, how much we love it. And I just want to say again to you, I've said this before the show, Patrick, but I really appreciate you so much.
It's
like, you've like, we've always been friends, but I really feel like you've become one of my best friends.
That's 100% true. I mean, I've known you for a long time, but a lot of that was like, ooh, David's cool, but I don't know him that well.
Yeah.
And then at some point,
it's just the Facebook algorithm would confuse us for each other.
Right. So I'm cool because he looks like me.
Yeah. So I'm a Leo. But yeah, I mean, we'll probably do a little bit of experimenting, right? And we might have some new faces come in more regularly. So I'm excited for that. We've been talking to a couple folks about that, and we might start doing that. So expect that coming forward. Yeah, and I'm definitely not going anywhere. I love doing this so much. I can't fucking wait for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, we're gonna have a big episode next week.
I know. You know what's gonna make me waiting for this fucking oncologist appointment easier is
having your
Tears
Switch
of the fucking Kingdom. Yeah, I took off work on Friday, man. And then I'm also this weekend I'm like going camping too. It's like, I'm not just gonna play Tears of the Kingdom the whole time while I'm camping, but it's like on Saturday going out of town and like going to a farm and doing some camping. And so it's like, it'll be nice to, don't worry, I'm gonna wear a hat for my head. I'm not just gonna let the sun beat down on it, but it's like, you know, I think that I really wish that this game came out a week ago, so I didn't have to like have this like long week of like waiting for test results and just to have something to distract myself. But man, I'm super fucking pumped. I can't believe it's only like a few days away. And yeah, man. When you played Breath of the Wild, did you just like blast through it like me?
I don't feel that way. I feel like I put a lot of time in, but it was over some time, but I don't know. Because I got my Switch late, so when I did get it, I had that and Odyssey and Splatoon 2 and so you know what I mean? I was kind of like jumping around between all those games, like, oh my god, I'm in heaven.
Yeah. I can't see any world in which I don't just
right
slam
this
through
one.
Like I'm probably gonna play this game for like 12 hours on Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, your birthday's coming up too, right?
Yeah, not trying to make it about that, but yeah, my birthday is Thursday, so I am excited to like just stay up all night and sleep in the next day.
Well, happy early birthday, Patrick. I want to tell you that because if I don't tell you before we record,
it's not a big deal, but thank you.
How you're going to turn 18?
Yeah, you know it. Finally get those cigarettes and
18-year-old piece of gold. Vote. You can fight and die for our country, Patrick.
Right.
All right. Well, hell yeah. Well, at least we gave Zelda some lip service.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Yeah. We'll just wear a plaster link
all
over
about
the art for this.
Yeah.
It's like a secret feelings episode, like Matt likes to do. All right. Well, I guess we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, I think so. Just to, as always, like our music's done by Awesome Corduroy. Our website's done by milkyway.co. If you want to find me online, most places I am PDYX.
If you'd like to find me, I'll be at the oncology building on 13th and Trinity. No, you can find me online pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji. And we usually do this show about video games. So if you liked what you heard and you want to hear us talk about that, you can find us on... Yeah, it's almost all the time is about video games. We are on Twitter at Switch Headz. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Super Switch Headz. We've got a website, switchheadz.com. And then we've got our Discord. And thank God for the fucking Discord, man. The sweetest, gentlest community in the world. Just personal shout out from me to the Discord right now. Thank you, everybody, for all the sweet, kind words. I feel it means something that I can feel comfortable enough to just be like, hey guys, I've been having a rough week and I appreciate any positive vibes. And then everybody just fucking does it. It is like such an amazing community. I'm so grateful for. So please, if you're listening to this and you're like, these guys sound cool, join our Discord. It's like that all the time. It's not like that all the time, but everybody's really nice all the time. So join us on there. And then we've got a Facebook group as well. Still a great community, still going strong. So join us over there as well. But yeah, that's going to do it. We're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom next week. I can't fucking wait to talk about this game. And I can't wait to talk about the Zelda Roblox simulator. That maybe will be Tears of the Kingdom. We'll see. I haven't played it yet. But we'll be back then. But in the meantime, gang, you know the drill. Stay safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be kind to the people that you love in your life. I love you, Sasha, and I really miss you. And we'll see you guys next week. We love you very much. Bye-bye.